Welcome to our website for air crashes and miracle landings, retelling incidents that made flying so safe today. Thanks to what they taught us, they should not happen again. This updated and expanded second edition now has some 85 accounts covering the key incidents and some that are incredible. As before, each chapter covers a specific type of accident in chronological order, while showing the evolution of that type over time. This means that those of the greatest interest may be nested within the chapter. The book starts with loss of power over water and the disappearance of Amelia Earhart in 1938, which to our surprise fascinated readers outside the US as well. That chapter includes a case where an Airbus ran out of fuel in the middle of the Atlantic and the pilot managed to glide 80 miles to touch down with no lives lost at a US air base on a tiny island. We can only mention a few of the accounts, such as the DC-10 that literally lost an engine on the runway, climbed away and tipped on its side. Had the pilots not slowed it in accordance with safety procedure, that left wing would not have stalled. Here are some other examples. The mid-air collision, where one pilot followed the air traffic controller rather than the mandatory instruction from TCAS, the onboard traffic collision avoidance system. Unfairly blaming the air traffic controller for the death of his two children, the father came to the controller's home and stabbed him to death. The worst ever multi-aircraft crash, where two jumbo 747s collided in fog on the runway at Tenerife. The worst ever single aircraft crash, where a jumbo 747 flew uncontrollably over mountains for half an hour, with the pilots only able to nudge it by adjusting engine thrust. Photo shows passengers with oxygen masks deployed, perhaps at the beginning of the ordeal when at higher altitude. The incredible case in Peru, where a teenage girl free falls 2 miles in a row of seats, with a descent slowed by them spinning like a mulberry. Cushioned by trees, she was still alive, but had to fight her way through the forest for 10 days in the face of many dangers. There are too many to mention, but the Air France Flight 447 that stalled and crashed into the South Atlantic stands out. Besides the technical issues, there was a fatal combination of human factors. The captain had only had an hour's sleep, and the two co-pilots who turned a glitch into a disaster were incompatible. See our website chrisbart.com for more details, including the table of contents and extracts. There's also a clever link taking you automatically to the Amazon page for your particular country. Thank you. Normally, we would let reviews speak for themselves, but we need to correct a costly, for us, situation in the US. On Amazon UK, we have started with 3 great 5-star reviews. In Australia, we have often been at the top of the commercial aviation rankings. The previous edition had 50 reviews on Amazon in the US, so 1 or 2 unfavorable ones did not significantly lower our high ranking. These were often by people offended by our saying the miracle on the Hudson would not have been possible had a calm river with rescue craft at hand not been there, and had the aircraft not unusually been equipped with life rafts. Yet when the second edition appeared, we were immediately saddled with a 2-star review by someone saying we were attacking the US Navy. The reviewer had been offended by our account of how, during the Iraq-Iran War, the captain of a $1 billion guided missile cruiser chased a bunch of puny Iranian speedboats and ended up shooting down an Iranian airliner. Despite the reviewer's allegations, our account, based on researchers working for ABC News Nightline and a Newsweek article, is surely accurate. Furthermore, the reviewer ridiculed us for saying a pilot was called Hoot because he had played the role of an owl in a school play. This is even mentioned in a great book on the incident. To prevent fake reviews, Amazon have set conditions making it much more difficult to get them. In the US, we are caught in a vicious circle as this unfair review stops people buying the book and potentially reviewing it. Any honest review on Amazon in the US will be greatly appreciated and helpful to other readers. A recommendation by Captain Richard de Crepigny, who brought his Super Jumbo 380 back to Singapore after an engine exploded and damaged 95% of the systems. A reader passed the book on to an older relative who was fascinated by it and read it from cover to cover. Over the years, he had seen the headlines, but had not known what really happened and why, because that is only determined 2 or 3 years later. Thank you.